Poppy, are you ready for another one? It's time to teach another class. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, so what we've been working on is all something that falls under a category called visual development. And visual development is the umbrella in which things like comic books, graphic novels, video games, even storyboarding can fall into. My stuff's waving around. So with visual storytelling and with most writing in general, flow is very important. It's basically kind of how stories make sense. So that's why lessons like plotting, like we did last time, are very important. So plotting and flow are both very important in the sense that they mesh together, and so that your story does not look like it's all over the place and does not make sense to the reader. So something to keep in mind that I have myself found that it's very hard to remember but easy to forget is that you, the author, already know or usually know almost everything that's going to happen in the story. Like ideally, in an ideal situation, you have plotted your beginning and at least the end of whatever situation you're planning right now, but your reader doesn't know that. So we have to, as authors and visual storytellers, have to figure out how do we make this story make sense to somebody who doesn't know what's currently going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a few tools and kind of like tips and tricks that you guys can figure out how to incorporate into your own work if you want to. So something that you will see sometimes in TV shows is that it will start with an event and then it'll play the title card in the intro, and then the episode itself will be the events leading up to the point we started at in the TV show before the title card played. In terms of flashbacks, it can be, an example would be you've gotten so deep into your story that maybe at this point your readers may have forgotten from something from chapter 1 and you want to incorporate that into chapter 20, so you do a brief little flashback that's kind of maybe grayed out a little bit, and you insert that moment from chapter 1 into this page in chapter 20, and that helps remind rather the reader of what happened in order to have this response now. Or another example would be, so you're introduced to a new character and for some reason this new character has an established past with your main character, and you want to show a little flashback to recognize how those two characters met and why that's important to the situation now. These are just common examples of tools that are used in just regular TV and books and comics all the time. So these are honestly just a couple of examples, and these are just like the easiest ones to start with. But it's honestly up to you how to incorporate these tools into your work so that you can help it make sense to the reader. But again, all of this comes down to is it's up to you to figure out how you want to tell your stories. Try to take a look at your own work and figure out how it can make more sense. Maybe give it to a close friend and have them proofread it and ask them questions like, what can I do to make this better? What can I do to make this make more sense? If there's anything that doesn't make sense, or is there anything that you think this story needs? Basically, I just want to encourage you guys to get into the habit of asking your friends or anybody that you would like, that you're comfortable sharing with, get into the habit of asking them to read over your work and ask them, does this make sense? Ask them if there's any way that you could improve your stories, because as a tool for me personally, has just been very helpful, and a lot of books don't get published without going through an editor first. So it's helpful to have an outside look on what you're writing so that you can maybe make it more sense to somebody who doesn't know what's going through your head as you're writing it. And all right, that's it. So just have fun with it. Examine your work, ask your friends to read your work and see if it makes sense. Again, have fun, drink water, and take care of yourselves. Bye.